Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Douglas Jung for an interview today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Could we start this with you telling us a little bit about you?
Yeah, a little bit about me. So, I've born and raised in Southern California. I lived in California my whole life. Yeah, I just I was a very, I don't know. I started. I guess I discovered my answer is just has changed as I've like thought back about like my childhood, and I always get like, oh, how long have you been acting for? And I typically say I was like, oh, like maybe 10 years or yeah, like professionally a couple years. But I look back and I remember that I was like doing little plays in my living room when I was getting the sheets and being like doing like Bible plays and stuff and reenactments and stuff. So I feel like my like acting kind of started when I was really really young. Um, yeah, I've always been a very like extroverted person. I remember as a kid when my parents would have like a plumber or um, maintenance guy come over to the house to look at stuff. I would just follow him around asking questions all the time. And my parents were always like, "Hey, if he's bugging you, just let us know." And they're always like, "Oh no, he's great." I was just always like a very outgoing person. I love to meet new people and talk to people. Yeah, I really like that. Like excites me just to, and that's what's great about like my with acting. It's like you meet so many. Like I've met so many people in the like I've recently moved to LA. And I've met so many amazing creatives in the last couple of years I've been here. So it's like it's something that that I've just, it's kind of who I've always been. Um, what else about me? Yeah, I played like I kind of, even though I like started acting like in little plays and stuff when I was a little kid, I didn't really like start getting more into acting later in life. In like high school and college and stuff, I was very much like an athlete. I played a lot of sports. I played a lot of video games. Yeah, typical like teenage guy. And yeah, I just like I've always had like a big love for film. Film has always moved me. I've always been also a very visual person. Um, and stop me whenever, by the way.
You're
Um,
fine.
I've always been a very visual person. Like I'm not the best. I'm not reading isn't my favorite thing, which is so funny
Mm.
because for my career, like I read so much now, which is like, and I like seeing stuff like documentaries and movies and stuff are like my favorite. I love learning things in that way. And so yeah, for film and stuff, it's always been a medium that I really like have been in love with. And I remember I had a revelation when I was like sitting in a theater, and I remember watching. I just for some reason I was drawn to just watch through the credits. Maybe there's like a post credit scene or something I wanted to see, but I was just sitting there. It was like I was just amazed by this film, and I was like, I want to be part of this in some way, and I just felt kind of lost and like maybe and just like I just I don't know, I felt like this like kind of empty feeling of like how do I want that, I want to be part of that, I want to be part of this like incredibly huge collaboration and to make something really awesome. How can I like how do I got really bad like FOMO. I was like how do I get that? And
Mm.
yeah, I just like I don't have any like acting relatives that helped guide me at all, so kind of everything was like I mean, it was a really steep learning curve that I had to learn
Mm.
on my own, and yeah, I just wanted to be a part of filmmaking in some way, and being a really dramatic person and really empathetic person, get that from my mom. It was acting was kind of just that avenue for making film. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
can completely relate to the like non-reading. I've got a few books which I love,
yeah,
but I'm not a big reader. I'm more of a visual person, and I learn a lot better from visual
yeah,
things.
totally,
So
yeah.
completely get
Like
that.
in like history class, I'd always like documentaries. Like I love documentaries. Like
Mm.
I also too like people recounting and like people like voiceovers and stuff of people recounting the things they've been through
Mm.
history, wars and stuff. It just the emotion of it is so much more real than just reading it off a page. But of course too, like I do have a big imagination, so reading also helps like flex those imaginative uh brain cells and stuff. But yeah, very much a visual person.
Yeah, I think it's different. A lot of people are opposite in that way. A lot get more from reading than they do from visual. So it's like just a,
Yeah.
a, a good mix, I think.
Yeah.
So
So funny.
yeah.
It's like I have three sisters, and they are
Hmm.
so different from me. They like my older
Yeah.
sister. She was a huge Harry Potter fan. She got the last book, Deathly Hallows Part Two. She got it. the night it was released and like finished it by the morning. She just stayed up all night and read it.
Hmm.
So like it was her and I'm the second born, and we were just like, it's like, we
So
couldn't be more
different.
different. Yeah, it's funny.
Me and my brother are completely different also. We have some similarities. Like I got him
Yeah.
into verticals and now he's obsessed just as much as I
Oh,
am.
okay. Oh,
But
very cool.
like again, we're just like we're similar in some ways, but other than that, we're just
Yeah.
like completely opposite people. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Nice. Are you
Yeah.
where do you rank? Are you the oldest or youngest or?
He's just a little bit older than me, a year and a bit older
Okay.
than me. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Nice. It's so
Mentally,
funny how
he's
like
younger.
fam.
Mentally, he's
Yeah,
younger.
yeah. I know. I think I just caught up with my older sister recently.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. All right. Your journey spans like indie films, stunts, shorts, and verticals. What drew you to embrace a wide range of performance styles?
wow, yeah, good question. I feel like some of the actors that I really really look up to are like chameleon actors, like Gary Oldman or Daniel Day-Lewis, Tom Hardy, where you kind of Johnny Depp also. Like I just love actors that completely disappear into their roles, and I love people being like, "Wait, that was you?" Like I think the dream for me would be like, "Wait, were you?" I'd be like maybe in a bunch of big blockbuster films, whatever, and no one would recognize me, and then they'll be
Mm,
like, "Wait, you were in that, and you were in that. Wait, that was you." That's what I would love because that means I'm doing my
hmm.
job. I'm really like
Yeah.
transforming. And of course, there's like character actors. There's actors like Jennifer Aniston, who's she's kind of just herself, and she's just
Mm.
really likable, so she gets cast a lot as just her. But I really like delving into like different characters. I love challenging myself. I remember there was one project that it was like a vertical, and then this short film. I had the offer, and they were going to conflict, so I had to choose one.
Mm.
And I think the vertical paid a little bit more, but the short film was like a completely silent film. Like I don't say a single thing. It's all
Mm.
physical. And I was like, that really really excited me. And so I was like willing to take less money to do something that really excited me because I feel like for me as an artist, I'm chasing the challenge. I'm chasing projects that will like expand my range hopefully. Um, and also, I want to be like an actor that, like, oh, that Douglas, he could do anything. He can do this, this, and this, and this. And I think that it's just fun too to change it up. Like doing the same thing over and over. I think, um, yeah, I would just get kind of tired of it. And I just like doing different things. And yeah, so that's why.
Yeah, I've just recently watched a short film called Angel, and I had the opportunity to speak to the actress, but her part in that was silent. Like it
Mm,
wasn't completely silent, but hers was.
yeah,
And she said the amount of like interpretations people had on what she was thinking was just so
right.
different,
Yeah,
because it's up to
yeah,
the imagination because there is no dialogue to explain it to us. So,
yeah. And it's almost freeing too. Like sometimes I feel like everyone kind of gets trapped in this. I mean, at least I do.
mm,
Sometimes you get trapped in the words. Maybe
yeah.
there's a lot of dialogue, or it's like something's kind of wordy and something that maybe you naturally wouldn't say. There's this one
Mm,
line I had recently where it was something and I had trouble saying it in a certain tone, and the director
mm,
was like, he's like, I think you just never said these words together ever, and that's why it's kind of just weird for you. Um,
mm.
and so there's something that you kind of get trapped in the words. Also, the memorization. Sometimes you're like thinking about that. But when there's no dialogue, it's all just the work that you've done, and so you
Mm.
can like be so in character, constantly like going through like what the character is going through. It kind of just takes off the pressure of like having to say anything. At least from my experience, like I can just fully just be. And of course, there's like
Yeah.
roles where there's dialogue. I do that too, but there's something kind of exciting about um, just having like say anything. It's all just like what you're actually going through. So yeah,
Yeah. And you can play more into those like subtle emotions with facial gestures and things like that that tell the story through that.
yeah, absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
something exciting too, where it's like maybe you're thinking this thing, and the audience sees that and interprets it totally differently too, which
Mm.
is kind of exciting. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I love a challenge. I've done a couple of silent, fully they're not silent, but like my character just doesn't have any dialogue. I've done a couple of those
Mm.
now, and yeah, they're a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with
Yes.
them.
Can you describe a moment when you realized acting was the path you wanted to take?
The moment I realized,
Mm.
hmm, I think there was a couple. I remember, yeah, there's a couple. I think it was one of the moments was in the theater, how I described where I was like watching the credits, seeing that there's like thousands of people involved in this collaboration, and I just felt so left out, and I felt like that was something I just wanted to be a part of. Um, and yeah, I think that was kind of the start of it, and then I was like, how can I find my way? And I was living a little like a couple hours outside of LA. Um, so yeah, I that was the moment where I was like, I just want to like do this in some way, and yeah, and then eventually, and then kind of things like let yeah, and all like that was like I think that was a big moment. But actually, when I was a little kid, I was at this like county fair, and it was me and my older sister. We were out. I don't know, I must have been like 8 or 10 or something. And there's like this talent scout that scouted me and my older sister. And so she approaches my mom, and she's like, "Hey, like we're having a casting call. Would your kids like to come and like see if they maybe want to do like be actors, be in entertainment?" And my mom was
Mm.
like, "Yeah, sure." So appointment comes around the following week or something. We drive there, and my little sister is very shy, so she didn't. It's not something that she would wanted to do, but she went for the fun of it. And then I did it, and I was like, they just like it was kind of scary because I'm not used. I'm like kind of I'm outgoing, but I'm not used to like being on a stage because wasn't like a kid that did a bunch of plays when I was young.
Yeah.
I didn't do performing arts at all. It was all like sports and stuff. Um, but yeah, go up there. They hand you a mic, and this lady just starts asking you a bunch of questions, and you're just a kid, and you're just answering them. And I did like pretty decently. Like there's levels to it. Like if you do really well and they really like you, they'll like maybe take you into a different room and maybe talk to agents or manager or something else. But I got to a level where I they like set me up with a manager or agent to meet, and but because and so I met with him, and I was supposed to like perform this mock audition for Old Navy the following week. And the following week came around, and my parents just couldn't find a babysitter for my sisters, and that's kind of where that dream kind of died then. And I think I
Wow.
always told myself I was like, well, when I'm old enough and I can drive, I want to like go out to LA and try it myself. So
Yeah.
then years later, I was like, let me try this. So that was one moment, and then it was in the theater was when I was like, okay, I think I want to be part of this, and how do I do that? And I think it might be acting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you said they pulled you on stage and just, went for it. I'm pretty good at speaking to people too. But then if someone puts me in a position where all the eyes are on me, I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's
It's a bit
scary.
more
Yeah, it's scary.
intimidating.
Yeah, it was. It was, and I've never done that before. Like, I wasn't like
Mm.
I've worked with some child actors who are just they have this these natural instincts and are
Yeah.
very charismatic and big, and they perform. Maybe they did a bunch of plays before, so they're used to the stage.
Mm.
I was even though I was an extrovert, like with talking to people on a stage, I would always be really nervous. Like I remember playing my first like basketball game as a kid in like middle school. I was so nervous
Yeah.
to play in like there's I went to a pretty small school, so there wasn't a really big audience, but I was just so nervous, and I would like be yeah, so it was like it's definitely a different thing when you're trying to when you're trying to like perform versus just like talking to the maintenance guy or like talking to like a few people here and there. So it was like definitely a learning curve for me to like fully be like outgoing.
Absolutely. Sorry. I think next door's using something and my whole house is rattling right now. Mm.
It's okay,
Okay.
all good.
Your training includes both university film studies and specialized acting workshops. How do these help the way you approach character development today?
Okay. You said like like university. Sorry, what'd you say again? University versus like workshops.
So you've done university and workshops. So how do they help
Yeah.
develop your character today?
Yeah. Well, so for university, I was a communications major, but
Hmm.
so I didn't take any like I wasn't in the drama department there, but I was taking a bunch
Okay.
of visual arts classes, and all the visual arts students were the ones making short films. So that was
Yep.
kind of me just like begging them to be in their short films and kind of just figuring out as I went along.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the acting classes I've taken, yeah, it's like giving you a foundation. Like I took one class where it was like I had this packet, and it was like how to like begin. It's like the first steps in like breaking down a character, a script. Like who are you? What world are you in? What is the circumstances of your situation? What's the conflict? What's your objective? Like all the basic things. So that was like a good foundational thing. Um, Yeah, I think I don't know, like things have helped me along the way. I wouldn't say one thing in particular has like shaped the way I approach characters. Those things were kind of just like foundations for me. I feel like yeah, give me a foundation, helping me get out of my body. I think one thing that definitely helped me with was like getting over nerves. You know, like I just
Hmm.
said, having a lot of nerves. Um, and like when I was younger, really helped later. Like it's a slow build. Like I had nerves my first acting class, as an adult, and like having to do like little warm up exercises and stuff. Um, but yeah, that gave me like full foundation, but a good foundation from that and all the visual arts classes. But I feel like the best training, because that's all foundational stuff. I don't think anything specific was like, oh, that has shaped the way I break a character down. I think for me, it's been um, just kind of on the job learning, like taking pieces like actors that I really look up to, asking them like, oh, how'd you do that, or how'd you do this, working with different directors and like giving me backstory. And I feel like every character is a little different. I prepare a little differently depending on the character. But yeah, I don't think there's like I think one thing I will say is like there are certain exercises I've learned from other actors that I use to approach a character, but they're kind of just like, you know, like daydreaming about in your character's thoughts, or creating a story, creating a certain backstory for a certain character, or making like a musical playlist. Or I mean, it's always so different. Like every role, I wish there was like every role I do this, this, and this, and this. But
Hmm.
I think over the years of my experience, I've just learned that depending on the situation, also like time, how much time do you have? If it's a short film, I have a couple days to prepare. It's very different than how I approach like a bigger role. Um,
Yeah.
like I think too, like when I first started acting, and I would like try to, and this is something that I really didn't wasn't taught out of. I just got kind of realized through, you know, through like articles and like looking at acting, reading books and stuff. It's like I used to, if my character was going through like a traumatic experience, or something was horribly happening to them, like their parents were dead, or someone was getting killed in front of them. Instead of like, I used to like to get their emotion. I'd be like, oh, let me imagine my actual mom dying, or let me imagine a friend dying. That's not really like mentally healthy. So I've like trying to put myself in my character's shoes by like creating this world. Like if you watch a show, you get an emotional attachment to a character, kind of like the same thing of that, like emotionally attaching to my character and like their emotions and like their loved ones, and that way it's like not my mom I'm imagining dying, it's the character within the character. um but yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, I think it's just a lot of it's like on the job training, because I know a lot of actors have gone through like they have like drama school training and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a less traditional route. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even some of the actors I speak to, like even the drama school training sometimes doesn't train them for what you need in film. Like,
Yeah.
they're still separate. So, yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
But
I
you
used to
can
feel
get
really guilty about it.
film training. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I used to feel really guilty about, oh, I didn't go to like a drama school. Like I'd work with like
Mm.
someone who went to NYU Tisch or USC. I'm like, oh man, I didn't go to drama school. But a lot of times I'll talk to them and I'll be like, did you like drama school? And some of them are like, yeah, and some are like, maybe if I could have changed
Mm.
it, I would have just taken acting classes in LA. And then some are
Mm.
like, great. Some like, oh, I love it. Some are I don't. So I feel like, oh, that just wasn't my path. My path is a little different, and that's okay.
Mm. And you're not the only one that didn't go to
Yeah,
drama school. So you're
totally.
not the
Yeah,
only one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely it does make me like it does. It's one of the things where I always want to be someone who always is taking class, always learning. I never want to be the type of person who's like, oh, I know that already. I always
Mm.
like trying new things and learning, and I feel like so many people have taught me great things along the way, that I pick up from people that I really admire. But yeah, it's like I want to get back into class really badly, but then it's like it costs so much money, and then if I'm working more, I don't have time. But it's always something I want to do. Is like always, yeah, always be taking class, because all the actors that I really admire are all constantly in class or working. So
Yeah. But I mean,
yeah,
even if you do know it, everything evolves. So you need to like keep going to learn new things, even with that exact technique. Sometimes it can just change.
yeah.
So you know.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also figuring out
Okay.
kind of like
Hmm?
why. So, last thing.
No,
How
no, you're
like
right.
when I was like taking my first acting classes, I was remember like, oh, why am I reacting a certain way to this, or someone comes
Mm,
at me a certain way, and it affects me, and I was like, oh, and
yeah.
it definitely makes me look within. Like it's like a good form of therapy. It's like kind of like
Mm,
figuring out who you are, why you do the things you do, and like yeah, just like honing your instrument, I guess. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, of
yeah.
course. Yeah. Okay, so for roles with stunt requirements, how do you balance physical performance with emotional depth in a scene?
Mm. I guess it depends. It depends on the stunt. I feel some are just like, especially the vertical stunt, is just a slap or like a punch
Mm,
or something. Um, I don't know. I feel like just really depending on the character. Like I remember I had this one like death scene where I'm dying, and yeah, I mean I just did a lot of prep work for it, and I'm imagining taking my last breath. Um, and I don't know. There's something great about the adding the physical to the emotional. Like I feel like that's like very easy from easy. It's easier for me to if I'm doing something physical and in the moment, it's easier for me to get into it emotionally. Um,
mm,
like for example, like if I do voiceover, I do voiceover stuff too. My mic
yeah.
here, I can like put it up enough so that I can stand. So if I'm like
Mm,
yelling or shouting or about to run someone, I have the physicality of standing, and I feel like sometimes I get
yeah.
lazy and I just sit and do them. But adding that physical movement to the can
Mm,
really enhance the emotion. So if I'm doing this full fight scene and I'm like angry at someone and we're going like fast and like breathing heavy, that helps me perform even better than if I'm just like kind of standing there. Because like if there's a scene too, like I've had scenes where I'm supposed to be like going crazy and just like full 10 out of 10 energy, and I'm just like supposed to be just standing there. I'll go to the side, I'll do a bunch of like I'll do some jumping jacks, do some push-ups to get my heart pumping. Because I had a coach once that was like, there's really nothing that can like breathing heavy and stuff. Really, nothing will fully give you that like fast heartbeat than like
yeah.
actually having a fast heartbeat and doing push-ups or whatever. So I feel like yeah, like having the yeah, just like having your heart racing, actually racing, really just helps you kind of flow into the performance. Like for instance, if it's a crying scene, instead of just be like, okay, cry. It's like if you can like have some moments before to like start tearing up, and getting to that like emotion, that breathing, the feeling the tears start welling up, that can like start to build, and it kind of takes you through the scene. Um,
Yeah.
so I feel like if anything, the physical is a tool and helps me like have a better performance.
Yeah, and that all those things would make it sound more realistic. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Like the camera will know if you're lying. It's right here.
hmm.
Sometimes it's like right here. I don't know if you've seen that
Yeah.
old TV show Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the shot, the frame is like here. It's
Hmm.
like that. Like if you're lying or not being authentic, it will know. So you
Yeah.
really have to just like be fully in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. What's something you've learned on set that really changed you as an actor?
Hmm. Wow. So there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. I feel like I've just learned so much on set. That's really changed me. Hmm. I I think one thing is like I guess I could say is like doing the same thing over and over and over and over. There's a couple. There's a couple. One is like doing it the same way over and over and over, like giving the same exact performance. Because I know some actors that do that, and I used to think, oh, I'm gonna do it this way, and that's kind of set. So I feel like, and that just comes with like you preparing it one specific way. So I think even with I try like something to like preparing and getting too much in the weeds on like okay I need this in this moment I'm feeling this exact thing in this moment I'm feeling this thing in this moment I'm feeling this thing, and then you show up on set and the director is like, all right, let's do it completely differently. You have to be like moldable enough, like obviously prepare and do what you should be doing as an actor, but being able to like switch and be like, oh, that is a good idea, let me add that, and it can add a layer into your role. So just being not being too stuck in your ways. I've worked with some actors who they say it the same exact way every single time. Sometimes I'll try to throw them off too. I'll try to like feed my line extremely differently just to see if they'll like pick up on it. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, they just it's the same exact way. So I feel like listening and being moldable and not set in your performance, I feel like is really important. So yeah, yeah, just being able to
I
like
I
change it
think
up.
that's very important too, because you can
Yeah,
get like you can always think like going beyond that, you can think that what you're doing is always right, but you have to be flexible because
yeah.
even if you think it's right, it may not be what they want.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe it feels really good. There's been moments where like, oh, that felt great. And they're like, oh,
Mm,
it was a little off. Let's try it this way. But that's what's great. That's what I love about film
mm,
is like you can do it. Okay, let me do it. Maybe in like for instance, like in this role in this scene, I want like this person I'm like really angry with and I want to kill them. That's like my objective. And then
mm,
the director's like, you know what? Play it like they're your best friend, which can be like menacing
mm.
almost because there's like this dark undertone. So it's like being doing both and then just like letting them choose in the editing room what they prefer, but always being like as present and authentic as possible. Because I feel like my job as an actor is to give every single take be the best as possible. So then make their job in the editing room hard because they're oh these three takes are just so good we don't know what to use. Um, yeah, just trying. Yeah, yeah.
And then you patiently wait to see which one they did.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing too, sometimes it's like the one that you really there's like maybe one that you really want. Like there's been films where it's like, oh, that's like I do a take and I'm like that's the take. I hope they use
Yeah,
that one. And then you see it and they don't use it. And who knows what? So many other reasons. Like there's a technical issue. So many other reasons why they don't use that take. But then I'm like, man, I wish they would have done it. It would have been so much better. But also, instead of blaming others, I can be like, well, you know, it's my job to give them three really good takes. I only gave him one good
hmm,
take. So I need to give him three or four. How many takes we did? I need to have like be on top, be on it every single time, which is like
yeah.
it can be hard, but you know that's my job. So maybe it's like okay, I need to work harder.
Hey, I think, the amount of times that you guys get to do these things, you all do an amazing job. It's
Yeah,
so
okay,
fast.
thank you.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
give yourself flowers. So,
thanks.
um, do you prefer rehearsing a lot or keeping things spontaneous?
Hmm. I think, yeah, I think there's a fine line between like over rehearsing and then not rehearse at all. I feel like especially with some of the verticals, there's like some big scenes, long scenes, and there's just like no time for rehearsal. And then I've done like short films where we're rehearsing the same scene over and over and over and over, and I feel like there needs to be like there's a good balance. I feel like it's definitely
Yeah,
good. I do like rehearsal, and I feel like it's really good. I remember there's a feature I did recently, and my co-star and I we would just like FaceTime over the course of a month, and we'd like go rehearse, and we'd do different exercises. We would like go through the lines, and then we would like not look at the lines, and then we'd do it again, like anything, saying anything but the lines. And we had all this rehearsal, and we would like have all this time to play with it, which we always don't get. And that was really great because it didn't feel like we were over rehearsing anything. It felt like it was like just the right amount. Yeah, showed up when I showed up on set. I just like I was able to like every note they took, I was able to shift, and I felt pretty good throughout the shoot. So yeah, rehearsals. I'm pro rehearsals.
yes. What's been the biggest turning curve for you so far?
hmm. I don't know. There's been a couple discoveries. I feel like there's I remember the first vertical I did. I felt just like, what am I doing? I suck. I'm the worst actor in the room. Everyone's like so emotional and vulnerable and crying, and I'm just like also supposed to be in that space. I'm just like kind of in my head, and I was like, man, that's rough. And I feel like a couple of films after that too, I was like seeing myself back and like, oh, that's the tone. I completely missed that. So there's a lot of like moments, and I think there was one where um, I had like talked to a lot of actors that I know, and I was like, you know, how do I don't know. I just was like asking actors like, how do you? A couple of my really good friends that I was like, oh, how do you prepare? Like, what do you do? And I was kind of like picking their brains on like how do they prepare and stuff. And I think something was that kind of resonated with me was like everyone kind of like there's just like certain exercises of course that everyone kind of does, but it's like it's kind of your own process, and you kind of have to figure out how you do things yourself, like something that works for someone else. And that's what I was doing. I was like picking this from someone else, um, And I was just like, okay, this works. This is really good. And also too with like with the verticals have been so great because I've been able to be on set so much, and I worked with
Hmm.
such talented actors um, that I've really been like, wow, that was amazing. Like, and just kind of watching them and being like, well, what did they do there? Or how's that? That seems so. Oh, that was so good. How was that? And just like really studying those around me, and also asking questions like, oh, what do you do? And getting like feedback on exercises and um, people watching my like just seeing myself too and being like, okay, well that doesn't. I was. It seemed like I had one someone tell me like, oh, like it seemed like um, in this scene, it seemed like you didn't have like your choice wasn't very clear or something, and I was like, yeah, it's you're right because I didn't have a choice. I was just trying to survive the scene and get through the lines because I was like nervous about the lines. So I feel like doing enough work, getting enough experience where I feel comfortable and I have like room to play and room to kind of like make the character my own and um, yeah. So it was a little yeah. I guess it's like it's a lot of stuff. I feel like it's not just one point, but it was like just working the verticals allowing me to be on set so much where I've just been able to accumulate so much experience and like work with so many talented people and just etiquette too. I feel like one thing that's really good. I remember when I got my first call sheet years ago, I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know how to read it. I was like, I never had anyone to be like, hey, this is the call sheet. This is the address. This is all the details. And this is what it is. I remember not even knowing what it was, and now I'm at the point where I know like enough etiquette about set with like how do you talk to the crew, how you talk to like wardrobe directors. I just know like how set works and how to like where my place is in that set and how to like make it as easy as possible. Um, so I think just like just the repetitions of constantly working, and learning, and just being like I'm a very observant person, and I really value people who are aware spatially, socially, emotionally, and just knowing like the flow of things and not being in the way, allowing actors to like to give them their space if they're trying to prepare or like be there for rehearsals or just like really being a team with your castmates too. I feel like sometimes um, um, like sometimes you'll be like having to act at a point in the wall, and if I
Hmm.
can, I'll be like, if they're maybe my co-star is looking at the wall, I was like, hey, can I jump in? I'm not doing anything, and I would love to give them an eye line, something they can actually look at my face instead of having to look at a
Yeah.
wall. So just things like that, were really just kind of, we're all like just working, we're all collaborating together. So I don't know if that answers. The question
Yeah.
was, what was a turning point? Yeah, turning point was just the vertical space, I guess, and having so much more work available to me.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think picking up on cues is so important. I wish some people picked up on cues better. So
yeah.
it's very important. Yeah.
Spatially too, it's just like like at like going to a big grocery store. Like
Mm.
here we have Costco, and it's just huge, and there's so many people in the way, and and everyone just is like slowly walking. I was like, dude, like get out, just etiquette. And I feel like
Hmm.
but film etiquette, I feel like for me, really hasn't made me like be able to be a professional and just know how things work. And it's like that is invaluable because you can be like the best actor in the world or whatever, but if you're going to make everyone's life miserable and you don't know how to act on set, or you know that's going to like take a lot less work away from you. So
Yeah. Obviously they learn, if they're new or whatever, you give them time to
totally,
learn these things, but eventually
absolutely,
you're going to have
absolutely.
to just get it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Absolutely.
funniest thing is just like when you get notes from like an actor giving you a note on your performance, or just stuff is like there's like lines you just don't cross, and some people just
Mm.
cross them completely unaware, and it's like, dude, yeah, that's you shouldn't say that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Just lucky that your day doesn't rely on their opinion. So you can
right,
take notes from the director, but you
right,
just need to go back. Yeah. They're the only
yeah,
people whose notes,
yeah,
not like sometimes good notes are good, Sometimes if someone
yeah,
gives you a note that's good, great. But giving
totally.
something
Or just like
to somebody, tearing them
suggesting.
down isn't going to help.
Yeah, totally. Or just like suggesting. Like sometimes an actor was like, well, you should say this. And I was like, no,
Mm.
like, and the alternative should be, hey, what if I did this and maybe you did this? What if that worked? Oh yeah, great. It's like
Mm.
just making like soft suggestions towards
Yeah.
something, towards a solution. But
Yeah.
knowing your place, like there's been times where, maybe like the camera team is like discussing a shot, I shouldn't be saying anything. But then maybe it's like it involves my blocking or where I'm going or turning, and then there's been times where they're trying to figure out. They're like, oh, they're having trouble with the shot, and I'll just be like, hey, what if I did this and then we did that and this, and they'd be
Mm.
like, hey, actually that works. Let's do that.
Mm.
But it's not me
Yeah.
telling. It's me just like, hey, what if I do this?
Suggesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Which is a
Yeah.
great etiquette. Some people
Etiquette.
learn.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah.
Okay. What's a role you feel people might not expect you to play, but you'd love to do?
Ooh, expect me. I mean, I feel like oh, I don't know. Like I've done the villains, I've done the heroes. Yeah. Hmm. Something you expect me to play. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe like I don't know. I feel like that's what's cool about like the range of things I've done. I feel like I've done a lot of stuff. Um, maybe something. Oh man, I don't know. Something like because I've done like more dark horror. I've done like horror films too. I mean, I feel like I'm with my personality. I'm very like a golden retriever energy. I've been told I have. So I guess something like darker, maybe like some I don't know, like a more darker film because I love doing comedy. I've done a bunch of comedy stuff. I've done more drama. I've been like the I mean a lot of the things I get cast as like the boy next door or
Yeah.
the nice guy. So maybe something really dark, like just really dark and kind of messed up. Maybe that people wouldn't like assume I would do stuff like that. Um, yeah, yeah,
Is that something that you think you'd enjoy doing?
yeah. I mean, I always love a challenge. I think
Mm.
there's something, um, every there's like some really dark. There's like really dark people. So like maybe if I was like playing like a serial killer in a biopic or something, I feel like that would be a really dark place to go to because then you have to kind of try to empathize with your character, which can be very
Mm.
difficult. So I think yeah, that would be really difficult. I think, and that's something probably my family would be like, wow, it's so different from like with how I am over here on the spectrum of like being so like just loving to talk to people and loving connection to yeah, some really dark place. Yeah, but I feel like I would like the challenge. It would be cool to like try to like because it'd be so different from what I've done before. Like really preparing and go yeah. So that would be something I would definitely be up for. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get to play one of those roles soon. Be good.
yeah, yeah. They're fun.
Are you someone who likes to stay in character between takes or shake it off and then come back to it?
Yeah, I feel like if it's between takes, yeah, maybe like if we have a lunch break or something, yeah. But if it's like take after take, I'll try to stay in it. I'll really like
Mm.
remove myself. And like something I shot recently, there was like some self harm involved, and it's just like it's
Mm.
kind of a dark place, and it was just kind of really hard for me to like, especially like you sit there and there's so many people moving around or talking that are like taking you out of it. So I literally just
Mm.
walked away and I was just in my zone. People were like, "Are you okay? You're okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just trying to like stay emotionally present." So as much as I
Yeah.
can around more heavier stuff, I'll try to like isolate myself and just kind of be away. I don't really stay in character though. I'm not like being mean to anyone or like
Yeah.
I'm not doing method at all. But I would try to like stay in that place. But of course, after the day, I try to let it go. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Because sometimes it wouldn't be easy to just get back to that quickly, you know?
yeah. Which is why
Yeah.
I try to not use my own trauma. Try to use my character's trauma
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
keeping that distance because like you can go really deep, but you gotta just be able to come back because yeah, just yeah, I've heard like some people. It just sometimes it's hard for people to disconnect and really separate because like, for acting is such a weird thing. Like you're all of a sudden you meet someone, you're like, oh, we're in love, and for like several days you're like married in love with this person or you hate this person, you want to kill them, and you're thinking about her, you're just thrown into these situations that you don't normally feel, and it just really tricks your body sometimes. And sometimes
Yeah.
it takes like I remember my first vertical, I literally like took me a couple of days to be like, all right, like my jaw, I was like, because it was a revenge one, and my jaw was just so tight
Mm.
from all that. Oh, and it took me like
Yeah.
3 days to like finally like my body to like. recognize that it was just like make believe. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Like I was speaking to Aliona the other day and the thing she says like with the like some of the abuse scenes, sometimes like it's not real, but your body doesn't. Your body is still in it.
yeah,
So you need to find a way outside of that to like just let it go and
yeah,
yeah,
totally.
get
Especially
body
doing those,
back.
if you're like you're playing the damsel or the victim a lot, like
Mm.
you're constantly being like all this negative energy is constantly coming at you, and
Mm.
yeah, I can imagine that. I haven't had to do multiple verticals like that in a row where it's like coming at me.
Yeah.
I can imagine it can be hard to like just shift back and be like everything's fine, we're safe. Like I remember I did this
Yeah.
improv scene with someone recently, and we're supposed to be like on a date fighting. And
Mm.
afterwards, I was like, we went on for like maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And afterwards, I was, because I just met her, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Can I shake your hand? And everything's fine. We're not fighting. We're cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, just yeah, you really do. It really does trick your body.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
really does. Oh. Okay. What do you look for in a scene partner?
I look for someone who like I can just like look into their eyes and I can feel everything they're feeling. They're listening to me. Like sometimes too, and I've been I've been guilty of this too. Like I'm just trying like they look in my eyes and all they could see is me like trying to remember my next line. But I feel like someone who's like fully present, they're willing to like play with different things and improv and like they're not just stuck to the script exactly. I know sometimes they have to be,
Mm.
but just someone who I can trust and who I don't know like there's try reaching outward. Something I learned recently is like instead of like internalizing all this emotion and vulnerability, it's like reaching outward at someone and like trying to find like solutions and comfort from them and like just seeking that outwardly. So it's just someone I can trust with all those things and yeah, just like someone who like you can just tell like the connection and the listening. It really makes things so different when you can really just get out of both of your heads and just kind of just really be there and not worried about how good you look on camera or
Hmm.
and there are some people that will just they don't know the lines and as one actor I remember did not remember he had like 2 lines, couldn't remember him. I was like, dude, the director knew his lines more than he did the 3 lines he had. So it's just like the trust of knowing that you can like you don't have to carry this because sometimes depending on who you're with, you might have to do more of the carrying emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but being able to like be a team together, yeah,
Yeah, going in prepared, I think, is very important. I mean, I
yes,
would be the first person to admit line memorization is not my thing. I could listen to a song 50,000 times and still sometimes forget a line. But
yeah,
if you're there
absolutely,
for that specific job for 2 lines, you've just got to give
yeah,
yourself everything to make it work. Or like,
yeah,
if you don't get it, shake it off and then try again. Put your whole self
yeah.
into it.
Totally, and I remember I've done some where I've had some scene partners where we'll do the scene when it's the camera's on them, they're in it, they're fully involved, and then once the camera is on not on them, they're giving like zero effort. I
Mm,
remember one actor I worked with, he was just like reading from his phone. It was as was
mm.
my coverage, and the whole time when it's his cover, I was looking at him, I was in the scene, and that's just it's really frustrating because it's like yeah, it's just like oh so your
Definitely
coverage
throw
is
you
gonna be
off.
great. Yeah,
Definitely throw you off.
it's unprofessional. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think
yeah,
a key part to being a great actor is being there for your co-actors and co-stars and
yeah,
just everybody else. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was Jack Nicholson. I think it was A Few Good Men, where
Hmm.
he for everyone else's coverage in the scene, the courtroom scene, he is going like all out for everyone else's coverage,
Hmm.
and then for like at a certain point they're like, oh, it's not going to be on you for a while. You can like go to your trailer. He's like, I love acting,
Hmm.
so it's
And you're
like
helping
it's
them.
just
You're helping
yeah.
them stay in character and having the whole scene keep going, you know?
Yeah, totally. And I
Yeah.
get, of course, if you do like 20 takes, it can be kind of exhausting. But
Mm.
just a scene partner that loves acting. That's what I look for.
Yeah. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay. What's the most intense stunt or physical moment you've done?
The most intense, most intense or physical. It's got to be. I did a short film. There's a few. Like, there's a vertical one that was like a lot of there's so much movement. It's kind of chaotic. I think I kind of like bruised or hurt someone's foot by falling on them by accident.
Oops.
That was pretty intense. Might have been, I don't know if there's a hairline fracture or yeah, I kind of messed their foot up because there just wasn't a lot of rehearsal, so we kind of just going for it. That was
Mm.
yeah, that was a little that was kind of hard. But I feel like the worst one was I did this like short film in the Angeles National Mountains, which is like pretty close to LA. Um, but yeah, like the peak, you know, it's like I think at one point we were like a mile high in elevation, and
Oh.
so you know you're just like tired. And I was really sick for like two the first it was a 3 day shoot or 4 day shoot. First day was fine. The last 3 days I was so sick, and then I'm really sick, and then I'm having to like I play an astronaut who's like trying to he crash lands on an alien planet, and I have to get to a high elevation to send the SOS signal. And so I'm like, the whole thing is me just climbing the mountain in the snow, sick, and having to like be emotional because I'm also like my character is like running out of oxygen, so he's dying. So
Mm.
and it's all yeah. That was one of the roles I did. That's all physical.
Mm.
That was really hard. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, pain is. I remember sometimes you get 5 a.m. Get up at 5 or be at the mountain at like 5 a.m. for. There's one minute we had to be there for like the sunrise, so we were there
Hmm.
so early, and yeah, I was having a terrible time. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then also
Yeah.
being in this place of like, oh my, I'm dying, and I miss my wife and my kid, and yeah, just a lot of yeah. That was probably the hardest, but I persevered. Film is forever. Pain is temporary.
I mean, when I'm sick, like really sick, I can't cry. No matter how much I try to cry, I
Mm,
cannot cry when I'm sick. So that
yeah,
would be impossible for me to be able to do any of that while I'm
yeah,
physically sick.
yeah.
So,
It was one of those
yeah.
things where I was like, okay, I'm sick. I feel like I'm dying. Let me just
Mm,
use that. Let me just use that, you know, as a tool. Like whatever I'm going through, sometimes you can always just like you can either see it as a negative thing or be like, you know what, I'm gonna use
yeah.
this, and I'm really in pain. I'm really in pain. I'm really suffering, and
Hmm.
I've been told that the performance is great because I actually was in pain. I was having a terrible time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's out there now, like you said. I'm sure you
yeah.
did a great job anyway.
Thank you.
Okay. What kind of stories feel most meaningful to you right now?
Hmm. Um. I just yeah. I mean, I feel like everything that's kind of like going on in the world, like um, all the like ice stuff. I did a PSA, an anti-ice PSA, and that felt really really good to be a part of. I feel like just all the you know just like with all the political things in the world, I feel like they're like yeah, I feel like entertainment and politics and stuff. Sometimes people want to keep it separate, but I think it's great that you can combine them. Like all of Bad Bunny stuff recently has been great. His halftime performance and all the messages that he had during the Grammys and stuff. I think those are really important right now, especially with like how divided the U.S. is. Um,
Mm.
so hopefully, like any like films I can do that, hopefully it can like change minds and change hearts and maybe like try to unify us in a way that's better. So I feel like those are what this like you know with so much stuff happening right now too. I feel like those are the stories that I really like are important to tell, and yeah, just opening people's eyes to like the travesties and the terrible things that are happening in the world right now. Yeah,
Yeah. Real world representation is very important.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything you want anyone to know about you or your work?
Hmm. Mm, um. You want to know about me or work? I mean, yeah, just like I guess you know, I just love what I do. I love acting. I like working with creatives. I like always doing really cool stuff, new projects, challenging myself. Um, yeah, I feel like, um, yeah, I just love. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just yeah. I'm just I feel like I'm a very open, kind person, and you know, something I would love to do. Like a dream of mine would be to like you know, make it really big in the industry and just have a lot of money where I can just give back and do a lot of philanthropic work and just give back and just like help uplift others and make the world a better place. Um, yeah, I feel like that's like the ultimate goal for me and hopefully entertaining a few people along the way. Um, yeah, I feel like that's just like what I strive for. It's like I'm in this place right now where you're just struggling and you're trying to pay the next month's rent is like that's the goal, and I just feel like hopefully I can get to a point where I can think bigger and do more and change the world in a better place. Because like why are we all here? I feel like maybe my purpose is to just hopefully make the world a better place in any small capacity. Hopefully a big capacity one day. But yeah, I feel like yeah, I just want to make things better for everyone if I can.
Well, I'm sure you do something every day that changes something for someone.
I
So,
hope so. Maybe not every day.
well, look, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's the good thing about it though, is you could do something that changes something for somebody, but we'll never know.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
so just keep
Yeah.
doing you and yeah. All
Yeah.
right, I've got two more questions. What's your
Okay.
funniest moment on set?
Oh, funniest moment on set. Hmm. I feel like there's a lot of good ones. I'm trying to think of one where I was like dying hysterically. Um. Oh man. Um. Man, I feel like I can't think of one specifically. There's been plenty of times where we're laughing. I feel like for the verticals, things move so fast. So if you start cracking up with your castmates, they're kind of like, hey, lock in, lock in, lock in.
Yeah.
Um, what's a comedy that I did? There was, I mean, I did a comedy horror. There are a lot of great moments in that where it's just like ridiculous stuff happening, and there's some moments too, and that was fun too because for that we would improv, we'd do a take and then we'd like improv again, and there were some moments where we would just say something funny and it would just be like thought yeah, I would have to think of like something very specific, but yeah, I feel like there's moments where you just break or someone's looking at you a certain way and you just can't hold it together. Yeah, I guess there's one vertical where it was supposed to be very serious, and it was like a lore one, and my co-star he's just kind of looking at me in like a weird way, and just the way he was looking was like I was like, dude, stop looking at me like that, because it just I couldn't it was supposed to be very serious, like I'm on trial, and it's yeah, so I would have to think that was something more specific, nothing like stands out that was like too like breaking, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
wait, there was
Yep.
one. Sorry, it was a stunt I was doing. Um, I was doing it with I was it was a vertical with Luca Pietro, and
Mhm.
I had this shield, and he goes, is it mine or his? I think he goes to like, was it his? I think it might have been his shield, but I go to
Mm.
stab his shield, and it's like plastic or whatever, but it actually broke, and my
Oh.
sword went through a little bit, or one of the way around, like one of our shields like completely broke mid scene, and we're like, oh man, and we just like keep going. It's just really funny because it's just like all the props are getting destroyed, but that was a
Oh
good time.
no. Did they use
Yeah,
that shot? Do you know if they used that
I
shot?
think so. It was a wide, so I think we only did it a couple times, and
Oh,
I think they did actually, yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, I think because we kind of look, it was we just kept going, and then
Mm.
afterwards we like, oh my god, the shield broke, but we stayed in it.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
some of them are the best moments, when you
yeah.
stay in it and
Honestly,
just keep going.
some of the best things, like I did another project recently where my character is like running from this like supernatural being, and I'm running and I'm like running so fast, I look back and I kind of trip over myself and I fall and roll, and then
Mm.
I'm supposed to just get up and run, and one of the takes as I'm like rolling and I get up to run again, I slip and I fall, and then I have to get up again and go, and that was one they ended up using because it shows like a little bit more desperation of me trying to get away, but it was like a
Yeah.
happy like I didn't mean to do fall
Uh,
twice, but it just
yeah.
worked out.
And realism, because when you're running, you're going to fall over. So,
Yeah, exactly.
especially when you're
It was
panic
real.
running. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. If you could leave the audience with one thought today, what would it be?
Hmm. With one thought. Yeah, I feel like the world is just, especially right now. There's like so much like bad things in the world, and it can be kind of hard to like see any positivity out in the world with everything going on. But I feel like we can all make a difference. We all like can choose to be positive, to choose to be like lights for the world around us, and maybe whatever small thing you can do in the world to make the world a better place, you should do it. Because change, it can be slow, but if we're all trying to do something good. Um, I feel like if everyone had that like mentality, I feel like the world would be such a better place instead of just like being kind of like frozen to do nothing or just yeah, just like overwhelmed. I feel like there's always something that we can do to be better and give back. So yeah, be lights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, thank you so much for having this interview with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Anytime. Well,
Yeah.
you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again very soon.
Okay. Thanks so much, Kathy. Great to meet you in person or meet you, and thank you so much.
Virtually. Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Bye.